minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire.
Lights out, everybody. The creaking door.
Dimension X.
Inner Sanctum Mystery.
X minus 1.
Dark fantasy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sci-Fi and Horror, brought to you by Dwayne Old Time Radio. Sci-Fi and Horror features some of the best programs from the golden age of radio, including X-1, Orbiter X, Dimension X, Slot X's, Lights Out, Ray Bradbury, Dark Fantasy, and many, many more. Before we start today's sci-fi and horror thriller, if you enjoy what I'm doing, let me ask you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribing is 100% free, and you will receive notifications on new posts. Lastly, if you have a moment, please write a short 1 or 2 sentence review or give a rating on your preferred podcast service. A positive review or rating would help me out a lot. And now, on to the show. And again, thank you for your support. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to the next post of Orbiter X. As I said in the previous post, these 2 episodes are Return to Woomera, if I said that right, and A Flight Against Time. Enjoy. Oh, and for dates of these, you can listen to the previous episode. Enjoy.
Orbiter X. Episode 10, Return to Woomera. As a vital step towards establishing a world government, the Scientific Unity Organization is planning to take over and assemble the Commonwealth Space Station Orbiter X. Captain Bradley of the Commomwealth Space Project has been indoctrinated by the Unitists and returned to his headquarters at Woomera, where he's to work as a Unity agent. Following his return, the monitoring staff in the central control room pick up the distorted image of what they believe to be an unidentified flying object. It's approaching the headquarters fast, but interference on the tracking screens makes identification impossible. The object is, in fact, the Commonwealth ship Orbiter 2, with Captain Bob Britton, Douglas McClelland, and flight engineer Hicks on board. Unaware of this, and believing that it may be hostile, Colonel Kent prepares to take defensive action.
I want the range and bearing worked out immediately. Sound the general alarm and alert the perimeter defenses. I don't know what's behind this, but if somebody's looking for trouble, they'll get it.
Oh, sir, the image on the screen is pretty bad, but the figures are coming through okay.
Missile batteries standing by.
Feed the predictor information straight through to them.
Yes, Colonel.
The UFO's bearing 209 EV27, range 951, altitude 75 miles.
Still heading towards us. Order the missiles to line up.
Right, lining up now.
Keep tracking, Brown.
Yes, Colonel.
You're quite sure the UN Space Department knows nothing about any flights?
Absolutely sure. We've checked.
All the same, we can't open fire until we know beyond all reasonable doubt that the object is a projectile aimed at Woomera. Turn up the sound monitor.
Right, sir.
Yes, the interference is pretty bad, but I'll try making a call. I don't suppose we shall get an answer, but you never know. Hello. This is CSP Woomera calling unidentified flying object bearing 209 EV27. Announce your identity, please. This is urgent.
Nothing there.
No, just mush.
Hold everything. The UFO seems to have leveled out. Yes, the altitude's going up. Up to 80 miles plus. Look at that. It can't be a projectile at all. It must be piloted. It must be a ship.
Sorry we had to overshoot our target and climb away from Woomera, chaps.
It was either that or we'd have burnt up, Bob.
Yes. Blimey, it was like a furnace when we got down into the atmosphere. What's our position now, Mac?
We're almost over the Gulf of Carpentaria. Altitude's around 90 miles.
So, the big question is, do we carry on and make a complete circuit around the Earth? Or do we turn and make another dive towards home sweet home?
Well, if we make the full circuit, we should have bags of time to slow down to landing speed. But what about grammar in the Unitists?
Yes, it's 10 to 1 they'd start throwing things, and we'd be a nice, easy target for the blighters.
Yes, that's the whole trouble, Hickey.
Well, I reckon we ought to turn and dive. Let's risk it. If we start heating up again, we can always pull out, as long as we don't leave it too late.
Yeah, it's the only way, Bob.
All right. What's the cabin temperature now?
It's fallen to 120 degrees. Shades of Aden. I remember when I was there in the Navy, it was so blooming hot.
You can tell us about that some other time, old lad. How's the cooling plant working?
It's a bit dicey. We should have given it a thorough check when we carried out the general repairs, I suppose.
Can't be helped now. The thing is, are we all agreed that we have another bash for Woomera?
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Right. Then open up the starboard jets at 9/10 maximum. We'll start turning.
Okay. Here we go, and the best of luck.
That's fine. Open the port jets and balance off. Good. Cut all. Going into the dive. Check your straps.
Okay. Keep her on bearing 312, EV19.
Right.
Accurate navigation's tricky without radio, but that should put us on course for HQ.
Fair enough. We're going down fast now.
You've said it. Look at the ceramic on the leading edges of the fins. It's beginning to glow red hot.
And we won't start worrying until the hull begins to glow. Like it did on that last dive.
Yeah, but we were traveling a lot faster then.
That's true.
Do you think the CSP tracking stations have picked us up yet?
Not if Kramer's still got his interference transmitter working on low-altitude coverage. They should certainly see us by the time we get down to the 60 or 70-mile mark.
And they could have heard us if we'd stopped to get the radio working.
Yeah, so could Kramer. Can't risk that.
No, of course not.
Hope they recognise us. Otherwise we'll get a blooming hot reception.
Quite a little ray of sunshine, isn't he, Bob?
Yeah. All the same, we want to give them a good chance to pick us up on the scanners. Better start braking again. I'll open the auxiliary retrojets. Hold on.
The temperature's creeping up to the danger level already.
Can't be helped. No turning back now. We'll just keep going. Hope for the best.
UFO bearing 042, EV23. Altitude 60 miles.
It looks as if it's holding to its course this time, Sir Charles.
Yes. What do you make of it?
I wish I knew. The picture on the monitor is bound to clear as the thing gets closer. Yes, that is clearing now.
Yes, the object's beginning to take shape. It's obviously diving out of the interference zone. How about another call on the RT?
I'll try. Hello, CSP Woomera calling UFO. Are you receiving me? Come in, please. Still no answer.
Kent, look at the picture.
Yes, I'm looking.
Surely that outline's familiar. It's exactly like one of our own ships.
Yes, it is.
I say, sir, the tracking station at Mount Isa has just come through to say that UFO looks like Orbiter 2.
And look at the screen now.
I can't understand.
Well, neither can I, but seeing's believing.
Trackers report Orbiter 2 approaching on bearing 042, EV18.
There must be a mistake. I was aboard the ship myself less than a week ago. It was derelict, empty, orbiting 1,200 miles above the Earth. It needed major repairs.
Which seem to have been carried out.
But who by?
Perhaps we shall know the answer to that question quite soon.
According to the predictors, the ship ought to touch down 25 miles to the west of our landing zone. but it may change course on the final approach.
If it doesn't, will you take me out to meet it in one of the jet helicopters, Kent?
I will. Do you think it's wise for you to come, Sir Charles?
Oh, why shouldn't I? You don't imagine we're going to find a crew of Martians waiting for us, do you?
Well, whoever they are, they can't be our chaps.
Not unless they've been helped by some outside agent.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, Britton, McClelland and Hicks left Orbiter 2. You know that because you went aboard.
Yes?
So if they returned to the ship and brought it home, we shall have to treat them very carefully. You understand?
Yes, I think I do.
The ground's coming up fast. It's too late to turn towards Woomera, Mac.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't bring you right in on time.
Don't apologize. We're not far off, and the ground's smooth enough for landing. Our only trouble now is cutting down speed. I'm going to start leveling out. The G-force will hit us pretty hard. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, all set, Bob.
Right. Something's breaking up. What is it?
The starboard fin, it's beginning to crack. The heat must have done it.
Okay, we'll have to crash land. It won't be too bad. I'm going in on the approach run. Now, just remember, the moment we stop, we must get out quickly in case of fire.
Yeah, I've opened the inner hatch, Bob. We're all ready.
Good. That fin will just hold together while I put the tail down. We'll be okay. Here we go. Tails down.
Well done, Bob.
Yeah, it was a nice bit of work, Bob.
You both all right?
Yes, all right.
Sure.
Out we go. Quickly, come on. After being in zero gravity, you feel you weigh about a ton when you stand up. We must move.
Yeah, you said it. Those fuel tanks might go up at any moment.
The hatch is jammed. I think it's shifting.
Here, we'll give you a hand.
Right.
Get your shoulder to it, Mac.
Okay.
Right. Heave. That's it. Go on. Out we go. Jump.
Oh, look at that. The engine room's burning all right.
Yes. Just got out in time. Come on. Run for it. Fast as you can. We must find some cover. A dip in the ground will do. Anything to screen us from the blast when the tanks explode.
There's a dip. Straight ahead. It goes down 3 or 4 feet.
Just a jump. Into it quickly and lie flat.
Okay.
Come on, Higgy.
Don't worry, I'm with you.
Good man. Over we go into the dip. Heads down. Well, old ship saw us home, chaps.
Yes, she did her job and she went out in style. I suppose all we have to do now is to wait for the Woomera boys to come out and pick us up.
Yeah.
That's about it, Mac. They shouldn't have any trouble finding us. You can bet your life they tracked us down. Now there's plenty of smoke to guide them in.
As you say, plenty of smoke.
It's blowing this way, too. Come on, let's move. Might as well start getting used to normal gravity again. Even if this isn't the ideal place to practice it.
Oh, look at it. Sun and sands. Miles of blooming desert. Oh, I reckon it's hotter here than it was inside the ship. Not that I'm complaining.
I shouldn't think so either. You'll be back in Portsmouth with your wife and kids in no time.
Ah, Pompey, eh? That sounds like heaven now. Do you think I'm likely to get leave, though, Bob?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure you'll get a short break anyway, Higgy.
What about you? Think you'll be getting back to those nice, cold Essex marshes of yours?
Not until CSP decide what to do about the unities, eh, Mac?
No. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not even thinking of home yet. Glasgow's still a long way off.
Ah, away with you. You'll be staggering down Sauchiehall Street before you know where you are.
I never stagger, Hickey.
Well, then you're giving a lifelike imitation of it now.
You know, it's about time you had a little bit of naval discipline again. Come here.
No, thank you very much.
Pack it up, you two. Come on. Listen. I can hear engines.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, they sound like our jet helicopters.
Look, there they are. There's 2 of them. See them just through the smoke there.
Yeah, one of them's a flying ambulance, isn't it?
Yes, there's no mistaking the white. I wonder who's in the other one.
Oh, Colonel Kent, I'll bet you.
Yes.
Give him a wave.
Hello there.
They won't hear you, Hickey.
Now, look, they're circling. Come on down, for goodness sake.
They probably can't believe their eyes. They must have recognized us by now.
Yeah. They're waving back. Here they come.
You were right, Mac. There's the Colonel. Look, he's got Sir Charles Day with him. Let's go and meet them. Come on.
I'm halfway there. Colonel Kent, hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. So it really is you.
Aye, we're not ghosts. We're quite real. And it's good to see you. And you, Sir Charles.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Britton. It's very good to see you.
Well, this is a moment we've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, I'll say it is.
You're all right, are you?
Oh, yes, pretty good, thanks.
Good.
I expect you picked up the ship properly as soon as we got below the interference zone.
Yes, it was just as well for you that we did.
I must say you were pretty quick off the mark with the rescue party, sir. Congratulations.
The predictors gave us your approximate landing point, and we took off before you actually landed.
Sorry we couldn't make a better job of it, but things got a bit sticky, as you can guess. We've got quite a story to tell. You see, after we went out to find Brett...
Captain Britton, we are most interested to hear your story, but perhaps this is hardly the place for it. You'd better come aboard the machine, and we'll take you straight back to Woomera.
Yes, good idea, sir.
Yeah, let's get out of the sun.
Yeah. Come on, Hickey. Up we go.
Well, now, you obviously don't need the ambulance, so it can follow us back.
Yes. All we need is a clean-up and a little bit of rest.
You'll have to have a medical check. We'll take you to the camp hospital to begin with, and you can start telling us your story on the way.
Yeah, right, sir.
We all aboard?
Yes.
Right. Then here we go.
And quite frankly, Bob, I don't like it. I don't think Kent and that old idiot of a minister believe a word we've told them.
Did you see the Colonel's face when you explained how we repaired Orbiter 2? Then when you said we'd been on board the Orbiter X workshop rocket, well, he looked downright suspicious.
Look, take it easy, boys.
That's your trouble, Bob. Sometimes you're too easy. Just because this numbskull Kent's your senior officer, you say, yes, sir, no, sir.
Mac, be quiet.
No, I won't. Putting us here in this hospital room is as good as locking us up. We're under arrest, that's what we are. Oh, they haven't told us yet, but don't worry, they will when they've cooked up a case.
That's enough, Mac.
Don't you realize while Colonel Blimp and his satellite minister are fumbling round in circles, Cramer's getting down to business?
Now, look, Mac.
May I come in?
Oh, yes, Colonel Kent, yes, of course.
I suppose you have the rumpus.
Well, perhaps it would be better to forget it.
No, you don't have to be diplomatic with us, sir. It's time we cleared the air, and it's time we started asking you a few questions.
Now, Mac, for heaven's sake.
If I don't shake this place up, the Unitas will.
Now, listen. You can let off steam with me, but don't try it with the minister, and don't underestimate him. He'll be back in a moment, and I thought I'd have a quiet word with you first.
Okay.
You must admit you told us a most astonishing story. There are bound to be more questions, and you may be in for one or two shocks.
And so will you, sir. If you don't believe what we tell you.
I'm bound to say that's perfectly true, sir. There is a very serious danger, and you've got to accept the fact.
Cool down, both of you. You must be patient. And to you in particular, Mac, a word of warning. Keep yourself in check and don't lose your temper. Now, this will be Sir Charles. Now, remember what I've said. Come in. Sir Charles.
Well, gentlemen, it's nice to see you. I hope all of you are beginning to settle down.
It's a little early to say yet, Sir Charles.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're in good shape medically.
Yes. And mentally, I think.
Oh, good. Well, now, Colonel Kent and I have been having a serious talk about what you told us. And there are just one or two points in your story that I'd like to clear up, so suppose you make yourselves comfortable and try and relax.
All right, we'll try, Sir Charles.
Now, Britton, when you first arrived at this place you call Unity Headquarters, I gather that you expected to be faced with a program of indoctrination.
Well, I should say there was no doubt about it.
You seem very sure of it.
Oh, yes. It wasn't difficult to recognize the early stages of the brainwashing technique. You know, the build-up of tension, uncertainty, repetitive noises, bright lights, interrogation. We had all that from the moment we arrived.
But it made no impression on you?
No. We weren't there long enough.
But given time, do you think it might have had some effect?
I honestly don't know.
Presumably, Captain Bradley would.
Bradley? Yes, I expect he would, poor chap. Well, he's been there long enough now. He's probably had the full treatment.
By the way, you say he had a broken leg. Was it the left or the right leg? Do you remember?
The right one, wasn't it, Mac?
Yes, it was.
Do you agree with that, Hicks?
I can't say because I never saw him, sir.
Captain Britton told you, sir. Hicks wasn't with us when we found Bradley in the headquarters.
Oh, yes, it had slipped my mind.
I suppose you think we should have brought him out with us, sir.
No. Your duty was to get back here with the information.
That's exactly what Brad said.
Yes, he said we'd never make it if we tried to bring him along with us.
He did he?
Yes, but we made a promise that we'd go back for him. And we mean to keep that promise.
That won't be necessary, will it, Colonel Kent?
No, hardly.
Well, what do you mean, sir?
Bob, I've got a surprise for you. We haven't mentioned it before, but Jack Bradley is no longer at Unity headquarters.
What?
He's right here inside the hospital.
Brad, here?
No, it can't be.
I don't understand it. Well, it's wonderful news, but how on earth did he get back?
He sent us a radio signal from Orbiter 1.
He did what?
He signaled us from his ship, and I flew out with Captain Knight and picked him up.
And he was there?
Yes. I also took the opportunity to look aboard Orbiter 2, and you were not there. Now you'll begin to see why we've been a little worried about your story.
Yes, but it all adds up, doesn't it?
Yes, Bradley must have been put back on his ship by the Unitists. They intended he should be picked up.
Yes, hold on, wait a minute. How did you hear his signal through the interference, sir?
It stopped.
Well, that clinches it. Unity cut the interference to make jolly sure that you did hear him. This was their one way of getting him back to Woomera without arousing suspicion.
Yes, but why should they want him back? Hasn't he told you all about them, sir?
No, not a word.
Do you realize what this means, Colonel Kent?
Yes, Mac. We're not quite numbskulls, you know. The minister and I have decided that Captain Bradley has been through the brainwashing treatment, and he's here as a Unity agent.
Yes, I'm afraid that is now obvious.
Yes, it looks like it. But Jack Bradley, no, he wouldn't agree to work for those people.
Believe me, if they know their job, which I'm sure they do, there probably isn't a man alive who could hold out against them.
Yes, I suppose you're right, Sir Charles. How is Brad? Can we see him?
Yes, it's all been arranged. I've just spoken to the doctors, and they agree it might be a good idea for him to meet you right away. I'll have him sent in.
We're going to see him now.
Quiet, Hickey.
We are ready for Bradley.
I take it he doesn't know we're here.
No, indeed he doesn't. That's the whole point of the meeting.
Shock tactics, eh? I don't like it.
Neither do any of us. But we may help to trigger off the process of reconversion. It'll be interesting to see his reactions. Now, here he is. Come in.
You wanted to see Mr. Charles?
Hello, Bradley.
Britton. McClelland, Hicks, No, it isn't true.
You weren't expecting this, were you, Bradley?
Why not? Why shouldn't I? Why are you all staring at me? What is this?
It's no good. You can't bluff. You see, we know all about you.
Yes, of course you do. I've told you everything I know.
Have you?
Yes, I have. What are you getting at? Let me out of here.
No. Bradley, pull yourself together. We want to help you. Captain Britton has given us the true story. He's told us about the Unity organization and this man Kramer and all that he stands for.
What are you talking about?
You know quite well. Britton and McClelland spoke to you when you were inside the Unity headquarters. That's where you first met Kramer and a man called Gelbin, do you remember?
I've never heard of them.
And there was a Dr. Ravel.
These names mean nothing to me.
But, Brad, you do know these people. You were in their hands. We were with you.
I don't remember.
Then you'd better think hard. How are you supposed to get in touch with them?
Get in touch with them? You're talking nonsense.
What have they done to you? Come on, snap out of it, man. Tell me about the indoctrination.
You're all wrong. Leave me alone.
Then tell me where you think you've been for the past few weeks.
I've been aboard Orbiter 1. You know that.
We know that's not true. You weren't there when Britton went aboard? It was Kramer who put you there. Kramer, wasn't it?
I don't know who Kramer is.
Where are his headquarters? They must cover a large area.
I tell you, I don't know.
Well, which country are they in? The local government must know about them, and so must you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And as for you, Britton...
Brad, you must help us. You wouldn't be the first to defect against Unity. Dr. Ravel helped us, and...
She may have done, but
She?
Now, the game's up, Bradley. We never mentioned that Dr. Ravel is a woman. You obviously know about her, just as you know about Kramer and the rest of them. Now start talking.
All right. I did promise to help Unity, and I'm proud of it. During the past weeks, I've learned to see things more clearly. I see that democracy, communism, dictatorships are all leading to the same end, destruction. The only hope for the future of the world is a unity world government. It's bound to happen. It's natural evolution, and whatever you do, you can't stop it. I hoped I'd be able to play a part in it, but now I realize that that's impossible.
Yes, it is. Quite impossible.
But you can't make me say anything that would injure the organization.
You won't tell us where the headquarters are?
Of course not. In any case, I don't know.
But you mean they never told you?
No. I realized they had to protect themselves in case something like this happened.
That means you were to work through a contact.
I've nothing to say.
All right. We'll find out later. But purely as a matter of interest, do you know why Dr. Kramer left Britton, McClelland, and Hicks on Orbiter X? There must have been a sudden emergency because he left quite suddenly without any explanation.
Yes, the interference transmitter caught fire at Unity headquarters.
So that was it. He was afraid his ship would be seen on the ground tracking screens.
Aye, no wonder he pushed off and left us to it.
But he must have rebuilt the transmitter very quickly to cover your return to Orbiter 1, Bradley.
No, he used a small emergency setup.
Yes, of course. Of course. It will be obviously some time before Kramer can put the main transmitter back into service and return to Orbiter X.
Don't you believe it? Their people are efficient. The new transmitter's probably working already.
I wonder. Colonel Kent, would you be good enough to ring through to Central Control and check on them?
By all means.
Central Control speaking.
Oh, hello, Brown. Kent here.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the interference like on the sound and vision monitors at the moment?
Well, there isn't any, sir. Both channels are clear. I suppose they would be when we don't want to use them.
Yes. Well, perhaps you got something there. Right. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, sir.
You heard that, Sir Charles?
Yes, thank you. It appears that Dr. Kramer is less efficient than you thought, Bradley.
I'm not saying any more. You can do what you like.
Now, don't worry. You may not realize it, Bradley, but you're a sick man. We'll see that you're properly cared for.
Come along, Bradley. This way. The minister and I will be back in a moment, Bob.
Yes, sir. What do you know?
I know what I'd like to do to Kramer and his gang.
So do I. I think what they must have done to Bradley. He's a completely different man.
Yes. Will he ever be himself again, Bob?
Yes, but it may take some time.
Yeah, it was pretty grim the way he caved in when he first saw us. He soon pulled himself together, didn't he?
Yeah, and when he realized he'd given himself away, he came right out on Kramer's side.
Oh, see what happens when his wife visits him.
Yes, well, she may be able to help. Well, gentlemen, I promised you some shocks. We've still another one in store for you, haven't we, Sir Charles?
Yes, I'm afraid we have.
I hope it's not a case of meeting another Bradley. I must say I feel a bit shaken after that.
We all do.
Yes, it was pretty frightening.
I couldn't agree more. Now, listen, gentlemen. This unity organization's got to be broken up. But the important thing is that we don't want Kramer to know we're on his tail.
Otherwise, he'll go into action. Am I right, Bob?
Yes, quite right, sir. He's got stacks of ballistic missiles, and he won't hesitate to use them if he thought he was in danger.
So at the moment, our best line of attack is through you.
Well, yes, I suppose it is, but what can we do?
It may be a job with a one-way ticket, Britton. So I shall quite understand if you decide not to take it on. The point is this. As far as Kramer knows, Bradley is still his agent, and you are still on our embryo space station Orbiter X.
Yes?
Now, we don't want to upset that illusion, and there's no reason why we should.
Yes, but as soon as the interference transmitter is working again, Kramer will go back to the station.
Exactly, and he must find things just as he left them.
You mean you want us to go?
Yes. Colonel Kent and I are asking you to return to the place you struggled so hard to get away from. In other words, what we are asking you to do is to go back to Orbiter X.
That ends the 10th episode of Orbiter X, an adventure in the conquest of space by B.D. Chapman. It was produced for the BBC by Charles Maxwell. Orbiter X. Episode 11, A Flight Against Time. Captain Bob Britton, his co-pilot Douglas McClelland, and flight engineer Hicks have arrived back at the headquarters of the Commonwealth Space Project, Woomera. They tell Colonel Kent and Sir Charles Day all they know about the Unity organization, which is led by Dr. Max Kramer. They explain how it plans to take over and assemble the Commonwealth Space Station Orbiter X as a vital step towards establishing a world government. And the first result of their information is that Captain Bradley is exposed as a Unity agent. He gives away certain details about Kramer's movements and the interference transmitter which screens Unity ships from the ground tracking stations. Sir Charles then asks Bob if he and his team will undertake another mission.
It may be a job with a one-way ticket, Britton, so I shall quite understand if you decide not to take it on. The point is this. As far as Kramer knows, Bradley is still his agent, and you are still on our embryo space station Orbiter X.
Yes.
Now, we don't want to upset that illusion, and there's no reason why we should.
Yes, but as soon as the interference transmitter's working again, Kramer will go back to the station.
Exactly, and he must find things just as he'd left them.
You mean you want us to go?
Yes. Colonel Kent and I are asking you to return to the place you struggled so hard to get away from. In other words, what we are asking you to do is to go back to Orbiter X.
Go back there?
We'd never make it.
Kramer would see us on his trackers.
Yeah, just a minute, boys. Sir Charles, I expect you've got the answers to this.
I think we have. Kent, perhaps you'd explain.
Yes, of course. Not long after you left, I decided that the interference which was plaguing us on sound and vision was being produced artificially. Our electronics department got working on the problem, and although they haven't been able to find the source of the interference, they've found some of the answers to it.
And they've also produced some screening devices of their own.
You mean deflectors?
Yes. When you fit them to a ship, they seem to screen it just as effectively as the interference transmissions.
They've just been fitted to one of our ships, and that's the one which could take you back to the space station components.
Well, I'm ready to give it a try. How about you, Mac?
Sure, I'll have a go.
Yeah, so will I.
I'm sorry about this as far as you're concerned, Hickey. I hoped you might have a chance to see your family before you started flying again.
Yes, I did too. Still, can't be helped.
Well, we're most grateful to you all.
Yes, indeed.
Now, Captain Knight will fly you out, put you aboard the Central Workshop's rocket, and then bring his ship back here to Woomera.
Yes, so when Kramer returns to Orbiter X, he'll find us waiting for him. And he'll have no idea we've been away.
None at all, we hope. And you should be in a strong position because you'll be working to a fixed plan. You'll have one or two mechanical aids to help you, and while you're busy at your end, the rest of the fleet will be armed and fitted with the new deflectors. Obviously, the fitting out is going to take several weeks, so during that time, we thought we'd let the Unitists go ahead and assemble the space station for us.
With our help, I presume.
Yes.
That's what an idea. And then you take it over when it's complete.
Naturally, but you don't have to worry about that side.
You mentioned some mechanical aids, sir.
Yes, I think the Colonel can tell you all about them.
Yes. What do you make of this, Bob?
Let's see. Looks like a flat cigarette case.
In point of fact, it's a radio transmitter.
Transmitter?
That's very neat, isn't it?
Very. Actually, it's a radio beacon. It transmits automatically at regular intervals. I've got a midget receiver here, so you can listen to the signals yourselves. I'll turn it on.
Yes, well, it works.
Yes. And there are two very important points about these transmissions. First of all, they should be heard through the Unity interference screen. And secondly, they can only be picked up on a special receiver, so the Unitists won't hear them.
Well, that's excellent.
Now, if you can possibly manage it, we want you to plant this gadget inside Kramer's ship.
Oh, I see.
If you succeed, it means that wherever the ship goes, it'll be tracked by our direction finders. Sooner or later, we should be able to trace it right back to Unity headquarters and pinpoint them on the map.
It sounds wonderful. How long can the beacon go on working?
The batteries are supposed to last for up to 3 months.
Fair enough. But what happens after you've located the headquarters?
Well, that'll be a matter of higher policy.
Yes, you needn't worry about that. Your job is to plant the beacon and help the unitists to put the space station together.
Yes, but how will you know when it's complete? Camm will obviously screen it electronically, and he must have a method of screening it visually as well.
Well, that doesn't worry us too much, because we shall rely on you to send us a signal when the job's finished.
Yes. You see, the transmitter you'll use is exactly like the beacon, but the signal is different. Now, listen, here it is.
Now, as soon as we hear this, we shall know that your mission has reached its final stage. That's when you'll make your getaway aboard one of the space station chariots. We'll give you a small deflector set, which will screen you from the unitists, and one of our ships will come out, pick you up, and bring you back here to Woomera.
Yes, but where will it pick us up? We'd better fix a rendezvous.
Yeah, no.
I know. How about Bradley's old ship, Orbiter 1?
Oh, that's an idea, Bob. Yes, it's still circling the Earth, so we could cross over to it just as we crossed over to our own ship.
In the chariot?
Well, that's excellent. That seems to be the answer. The rendezvous is Orbiter 1.
Well, that's the plan as it affects you, Bob. The main point's clear?
Yes, I think so. First, we plant the beacon on Kramer's ship. Then, when the station's complete, we send you the signal and set out on the chariot for Orbiter 1.
That's right. And we take that signal as our cue to send off a ship to meet you. It's a tough assignment. Now you've heard all about it. If any of you want to change your mind and back out, this is the moment to say so.
No, we'd like to go ahead, sir.
Good.
Well, as you realize, it's essential that you arrive on the Orbiter X workshop rocket before Kramer gets there. So you'll have to move fast.
Yes, of course.
Kent, I understand you've briefed Captain Knight for a test run with the deflectors.
Yes, they've been fitted to his ship, Orbiter 3, and the final adjustments are being made to them now. As soon as they're complete, I'll give him the word to take off.
We'd very much like to see the test, sir.
Yes, but there's no need for you to hang about. I think you all need all the rest you can get. Now, look, I'm going over to the control room, and I'll give you a call when the test flight begins. Here we are, Bob. Come right in. Come in, all of you.
Thanks.
Sir.
Hello, that's a familiar sound, isn't it?
Yes, it's the beacon transmitter. Captain Knight's got it aboard his ship. He took off a few minutes ago.
Orbiter 3, bearing 209, EV12, altitude 50 miles. Hello, fellas. Great to see you again.
You too, old lad. I didn't see anything on the monitors.
No, we hope you won't.
You mean they can't pick up Orbiter 3?
No, they're trying, but they haven't managed it so far.
So the deflectors really are working?
Yes, as you see, the monitor screens are reassuringly blank.
And this signal we're hearing, is it actually coming from a similar transmitter to the one you showed us?
It's the same one.
Ah.
And as we're not using the normal radio, in case Kramer's listening, it's our only link with Orbiter 3.
Yes, I'm getting my bearings from the direction finders which are locked onto it. The bearing now is 208 EV14, altitude 55 plus.
So when we plant the beacon aboard Kramer's ship, you'll be able to trace him just like this.
We hope so.
If Kramer only knew what he's in for.
That's something he must never know. This gadget changes the whole situation.
Isn't there any chance of it being picked up on a normal receiver, sir?
None at all.
Altitude is up to 70 miles plus.
And still nothing on the screens.
No interference either, thank goodness.
Oh, by the time Kramer gets his transmitter going again, we ought to be safely aboard Orbiter X.
Hold on. There's something coming up on the central monitor, sir.
Yes. You're right, Brown. A small disturbance plumb in the center.
It's a 208 EV17. The same bearing I'm getting from DF for Orbiter 3.
And so the deflectors are not quite perfect. Hello? Yeah? You seen it too? You can? Good. I'll call him straight back to base. Thank you. That was the electronics department. They're monitoring over there, and they spotted the fault. They think they can correct it with a small adjustment.
Oh, I hope they can.
I hope so, too. We'll order Captain Knight back right away.
Well, how are you going to do that without using normal radio, sir?
There's your answer. The second midget transmitter.
I see.
Knight has a receiver with him, and we told him that would be his recall signal.
Bearing 209 EV16. He's diving, sir.
Here, the screen's cleared.
Yes. And there seems to be a weakness in the deflectors round about the 70-mile mark.
Bit of trouble, is there, Kent?
What? Oh, hello, Sir Charles. I didn't see you come in.
I've only just got over from the security department. Is this fault serious?
No, I've just been told it can probably be corrected quite quickly.
Good. Well, I've got some rather interesting news for you as soon as you can leave the control room.
Well, we could cross over into my office right away. I've seen all I need on the first test run. Night's altitude is down to, what is it, Brown?
55 plus, sir. Everything seems okay. He's coming in smoothly on the predicted landing course and the screens are clear.
Right, well, give me a call if you want me. I shall be next door.
Okay, sir.
Will you come this way, Sir Charles?
Yes, I will. And Britton and his team might come along, too. I'm sure they'll be equally interested in what I've got to say.
Thank you, sir.
In you come, gentlemen.
Thanks, sir.
Now then, I thought you should know that the psychiatrist's been having a long talk with Captain Bradley. He says there's no doubt the man has been well indoctrinated by the Unitists. The poor chap's thoroughly rattled, and as a result, he's given away his method of contacting Unity headquarters.
He has?
What is it, sir?
It's very simple. He makes an apparently harmless telephone call on the radio telephone link. It doesn't matter who he calls, because at certain times, which we now know, the link is being monitored.
Uh-huh.
So he may ring, say, a Mr. Smith who keeps a garage in Alice Springs. He makes an apparently harmless inquiry about cars, but he uses a word code.
Yes.
The person being called is entirely innocent, of course, but somewhere along the line, a Unity agent is taking everything down and sorting out the real message.
I see. It's going to be difficult to find the agent.
Quite, but we don't want to find him at the moment. We want to use him, and we can use him because we know the code.
Ah, you mean you'll get Bradley to send phony messages back to Unity?
Not Bradley, but the security people have got hold of a pilot named King, whose voice sounds almost exactly like Bradley's on the phone.
King, yes. Now that you mention it, their voices are alike.
Well, we think it's essential that they should be, because the agent may have been sent a record of Bradley speaking.
That's true.
Anyway, gentlemen, at this precise moment, Captain King is speaking on the radio telephone to an innocent shopkeeper in Alice Springs. He's given his name as Bradley, and he's inquiring about some books.
What is he really saying?
When his words are decoded, the message that the agent will get is this.
Thank you. Orbiter 2 crashed. No survivors. No more ships taking off in foreseeable future.
Well, I think that should make Kramer feel reasonably secure.
Yes.
And at the same time, it'll satisfy him that Bradley's doing his job.
Ah, it's wonderful, because then Kramer won't feel he's got to hustle things along.
And this is just the start. As a Unity agent working for us, Captain Bradley, alias King, should be very useful.
Yes, I think he should.
Oh, excuse me, Colonel. The interference has suddenly started again.
What?
Oh, that's done it.
Right, well, we'll come through to the control room in a minute.
Right, sir. Oh, and Captain Knight, he's just coming in to land now.
Good.
Well, Kramer's obviously got his main interference transmitter working again. So he'll be on his way back to Orbiter X any time now, Britton.
Yes, we got to beat him to it, sir.
You have.
Take the midget transmitter now, Bob. Here it is.
Right.
The portable deflectors for the chariot will be put aboard the ship.
Well, it looks as though we'll have to skip those adjustments to the ship's deflectors.
Oh, no, you won't. They'll be carried out during refueling. This could turn out to be a race between you and Kramer, but you're not going to throw away your chances of success before you start.
Orbiter 3 coming in on number 1 platform, sir.
Right. You better get down there as quick as you can, Bob. We'll feed the details of your course straight into the ship's automatic pilot. You'll take off as soon as the ground staff give us the all clear.
Very good, sir. Okay, you all set, Mac? You, Hickey?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready, Bob.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Off you go, then, and the best of good luck.
Bulkheads closed and hatches sealed, Captain Knight.
Thanks, Hickey. Tough on you having to take off again like this, Chris.
All in a good cause, Bob. It's great seeing you fellows again anyway.
And you, Chris.
Better check your safety straps.
Right, okay.
You've been through this routine more often than I have. You should be in charge.
Don't be silly. It's your ship, old boy. You're the boss.
1 minute to 0.
Control calling Orbiter 3. Check your stabilizers.
Oh, they're okay. Gyro's turning at 2,000 revs.
Good. Orbiter 3 answering your control. Stabilizers correct. Gyro spinning, 2,000 revs. Steady.
Right, Orbiter 3. Check your fuel taps and stage 1 compression.
All correct.
Hello, control. Taps open. 4/5 compression. Rising.
0 minus 30.
9/10 pressure in the combustion chambers. Temperature 1200.
Good. Hello, control. Compression 9/10 maximum. All jets firing.
Hello, Orbiter 3. Stand by for normal takeoff. There'll be no deviation from predicted course. Good luck.
Thanks.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7.
We're lifting.
6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Let's hope the deflectors are doing their job.
Well, if they're not, we won't get any warning until it's too late, so why worry?
Yes, why indeed.
What's our position now, sir?
We're flying over central China. The altitude's 954. We should rendezvous with Orbiter X just after we've crossed the Arctic Circle.
Ah, jolly good.
You know, I've been thinking, when the whole fleet is fitted with these deflectors, it could go straight in and wipe up the Unity headquarters. And the rest of the world wouldn't be any the wiser.
Yes, of course. But it all depends on whether we can plant the beacon aboard Kramer's ship. If we don't succeed, we won't know where the headquarters are.
You chaps have got quite a responsibility.
Yeah, we don't want to slip up.
What would happen if we did, Bob?
What, to us, you mean?
No, that's painfully obvious. No, what would happen at Woomera?
Well, they'd go ahead and get the fleet armed and screened anyway. Then, if they don't hear from us, they'll probably come out and tackle the Unity ships in space.
And that would really make Kramer go into action.
Yes. He'd probably launch his general attack on the world. But our people couldn't sit back and wait for him to strike first.
No. As Chris says, we've got quite a responsibility.
Watch your altitude, Gelbin. Hold it steady at 900 miles until we pick up the space station components on the scanner.
Steady at 900, Kramer. That's Earth headquarters calling.
All right, I take it.
EHQ to Unity Ship 5. Are you receiving me?
Yes, Unity 5 answering you, EHQ.
The new interference transmitter is working well. Screening correct. You are covered from normal tracking monitors.
Good. Keep checking.
We will. And we have just had an intelligence report from JB Australia.
Yes? What is it?
It reads as follows. Orbiter 2 crashed. No survivors, no more ships taking off in foreseeable future. Message ends.
Thank you, EHQ. Understood.
Captain Bradley appears to have made a promising start, Kramer.
Yes, but he should have told us who was in Orbiter 2.
Obviously, it was the repair squad who were put aboard by Colonel Kent.
Quite. But I like to have names. Never mind. The information is useful. I know you were worried that the Woomera people might let the apparent success of Kent's flight go to their heads. There is no danger of that happening now.
Nevertheless, I shall keep sweeping with the radar scanner.
Of course. That is a standing order.
Look, Kramer. The Orbiter X components are coming up on the screen.
Yes.
Range 2,500.
Right. You can call EHQ and order our assembly crews to take off.
Very well. Unity 5 calling EHQ. Are you listening?
EHQ answering you, Unity 5.
You should have 6 escort ships lined up on the launching platforms. Check.
Correct. Ships are ready for takeoff.
Go ahead with launching procedure. Repeat, go ahead with launching procedure. Rendezvous is Orbiter X.
Thank you, Unity 5. We are going ahead.
We shall have 40 men, wasn't it, in the total assembly crew, Gilbin?
That is so, Kramer.
I shall divide them into teams.
Yes.
We must work out a program of operations. To begin with, Britton will give us the main outline of the assembly work.
I see.
One team will be drafted to each section of the space station, and as the sections are completed, they can be welded together under my personal supervision.
You mean you are going to remain on the job until it is finished?
Yes. I don't think it would be wise to leave Captain Britton in charge.
If he is still there. We assume he has survived, but we cannot be sure.
Oh, yes. He will be waiting for us with his team.
You're very certain. Hello? There's a small mark on the scanner, near the bottom of the screen. Do you see it, Kramer?
Yes. It's moving towards the components. Now it's fading.
It must be the interference breaking through on the vision channel. Yes, it seems to have cleared. I must check on the circuits. I do that when we arrive.
In the meantime, keep watching. I don't anticipate any trouble, Gelbin, but you never know.
Orbiter X should be on a bearing TK75QX4.
Can you see any signs of it on the screen yet, Bob? Hold on, I'll pan round. Now, let's have a look. Yes, there are some marks. You can just see them through the interference band.
Ah, they're the components, all right, Bob. Whole cluster of them. What's the range?
350. You better start braking, Chris. Okay, I'll start the inverters. Hold on. Over we go. I'll level off when our tail's pointing towards the target. Right, level off. You can start the compressors. Right. We can use the jets as brakes now. You think a 9/10 burst should do the trick, Bob? Try it. Okay. And again.
I can see the component rockets through the observation windows. Look, there they are.
Yes. The predictor boys know how to put a ship on target. I'll just maneuver alongside the big rocket in the middle of the cluster. That is the central workshops, isn't it? Yes, that's the one. Lovely, Chris. You can leave it at that. But we're still about 100 yards away from the thing. I can get you closer. Oh, don't worry.
Ah, we'll step out here. A little trip in our spacesuits will do us good.
Certainly. We got all that stuff?
Yeah, all checked and ready. Beacon, midget transmitter, deflector set, all correct.
Okay. Oh, thanks for the ride, Chris. Safe journey back to Woomera. Thanks. Good luck, all of you. I hate leaving you like this, but... Hey, look at the screen.
What is it?
Look, there's something there. You can just see it through the interference pattern. You're right, Bob. It's something solid. I can't make out what it is. We're not waiting to find out. It could be Kramer.
Blimey, let's get going.
Into the airlock, quickly. It's closing in. Look sharp, fellows. Open the jets and get away as soon as we're out, Chris. Okay, Bob. And the best of luck. Close helmets and localize your intercom.
Right. Okay. Do you think that thing on the screen was Kramer's ship?
I don't know. It was too far off to be able to say. It could well have been.
Asher 0.
Open the outer hatch. Now, careful as you use your jet pistols. We must keep clear of one another. Okay? All right, come on, let's get out.
Here we go. Over the edge. There's no time to panic now.
No time to feel sick either. Remember to keep your legs still. Watch your target. There's the workshop's rocket, straight ahead. Why doesn't Chris open his jets and get away?
He's afraid of catching us with the blast.
He must move.
There he goes. The jets are firing.
You can probably identify that thing on the screen by now.
If it is a Unity ship, this will really put the deflectors to the test.
Yes. They aren't better than the Unity version. The game's up. Chris will have been spotted.
I've lost sight of him now.
Watch your target, Mac. You're drifting to your left. That's better. Only another 50 yards to go now.
Oh, Kramer can't turn up now. Not when we're so close.
Don't think about it. Concentrate all your attention on the rocket. You can see the hatch. It's a point to aim at. Watch your speed. Look, watch it. If you overshoot, it'll take more time to get back.
You're right. More haste, less speed.
We're doing fine. One short burst should be enough now. Fire in your own time. Here's a hatch. Grab hold.
Now we've made it.
Now,
talk about crash landing.
Yes. Hold on to the handrail while I open the hatch. Right, into the airlock, quickly. All okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm closing up.
Pressure's rising. Thank goodness everything's working. I can't wait to get into the ship and see if there's anything coming alongside.
Yeah, it's just like waiting for the judge's verdict.
Yes. A verdict on the efficiency of the CSP deflectors.
Pressure normal.
Good. Here we go. Open your helmets. Turn up your intercom receivers. We might pick up something.
Oh, glad to see the workshop is just as we left it. At least nobody's been aboard here.
No, I don't think they have. Now, you two look out to port, and I'll watch through the starboard windows.
I'll clear this side, Bob.
Right. Hickey, turn on the generator and start the air conditioner.
All right, okay.
We want things to look as normal as possible. Now, I say, come over here, quickly.
Why? What is it?
A Unity ship.
Yes, she's closing right in. You can read the number on the bows.
Yeah, I can see it. U5, it's Kramer's ship.
Yes, that's right. He's stopping alongside. No signs of his hatch opening.
No, he doesn't seem to be in any hurry to deliver the verdict, does he?
No. Whatever it is, we can only wait and see.
Hello, Captain Britton. I hope you are listening.
Here it comes. Okay, I'll turn on my intercom transmitter. Leave the talking to me. Now, perhaps this is a case where attack is the best defense.
Yeah, maybe it is, Bob.
Hello, Dr. Kramer. Yes, I'm listening. So you've come back, have you? What's the idea of leaving us stranded out here? Where have you been?
Come aboard my ship immediately, and no tricks, do you understand?
You're the expert in playing tricks. You haven't answered my questions.
It is I who will ask the questions. You have had your instructions. Carry them out. I want you here at once because you have quite a lot of explaining to do.
Right, Mac? You right, Hickey? This looks like it.
So ends the 11th episode of Orbiter X, an adventure in the conquest of space by B.D. Chapman. It was produced for the BBC by Charles Maxwell.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy what I'm doing, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel or channels. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, peace.